about the cars.
All right. All right. Look at this here. All right, so the history
Of this car.
All right, we're gonna get off into that. All right, so I'm gonna stand you in the front here.
All right.
All right. So what's your name, sir?
My name's Matt Ossenmacher.
Matt.
And this is my 1908.
You said Mac or Matt?
Matt.
Matt. All right.
And this is a 1908 Buick Model 10E.
All right.
It was built here in Flint. And this is the first year that Buick built a 4-cylinder valve and head engine, and that was a really famous part of the Buick engineering, is the valve and head design.
Okay.
It was kind of unique to the Buick cars. And it had combinations of both, like the early gasoline engines, but
Okay.
also had features like early steam engines, the valve operations.
Really?
And the engineers at that point in time all came from either the railroad industry or the bicycle industry, or they all learned somewhere and learned their trade somewhere. So,
And they all incorporated it all in the. Now, what year did they first start making the Buick?
well, I think Buick was incorporated in 1903, but I don't believe there's anything in existence before 1905. I think
Okay.
the earliest ones that are still in existence are 1905.
Oh, 05. Okay. Okay.
And, just like a lot of early automobile companies, they're essentially hand-built cars. So they weren't built in tens of thousands, they were built in the hundreds.
All right.
So this particular model was, I think, the best-selling model car in 1908, and it's a Model 10, as I said, but I think there were only 4,000 made.
Oh, really? So they made a few different type of models?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. They made the Model Fs, I know. You'll see another few cars here, but I don't know the whole rundown.
Okay.
But
Okay.
this was the best-selling Buick in '08, and because it was such a success, the money that Durant had made building this automobile, he was able to get the cash together to start General Motors.
Oh,
And that was
really?
in late 1908, and the paperwork was signed right across the street.
Oh, really? Now this is almost like a coupe too, then, huh?
What's that?
This is a coupe, more or less. What we call today, we call them coupe, but
Yeah,
like
they
this
call
is.
it, I think they call it a runabout or roadster.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because none of the cars back then were enclosed, they were all open cars.
Okay.
So essentially this car and this car are open cars. There's a top on it,
Okay.
but the top more or less just keeps the sun off you. It doesn't keep you dry, as you can see, it's all wide open. And the funny thing about this car is the top and the windshield were not standard features. That was an accessory that you bought after you bought the car, or the dealer could add it.
Really?
Yeah, this car didn't come with a top or a windshield.
So this is an add-on. They was add-on.
They were add-ons.
Add-on.
Yeah,
Wow.
customizing your car. So
So-
you'll see a lot of variation in top. At least that's the case in 1908. I'm not sure about the later
The
models.
later years.
Yeah.
So, how far did you drive? You drove this one here today
I
too,
drove
huh?
it from Flint Township, so that's probably 7-8 miles.
Okay.
This morning.
Okay. Now he was telling
Dodge
me,
in the rain.
over there that he's only had rear wheel brakes.
Well,
rear
this
brakes.
one doesn't even have rear wheel brakes. It has a parking brake which operates the rear wheel, but the brake on this particular vehicle is on the drive shaft. So there's it's called a transmission brake or a drive shaft brake. So it sits right underneath the floorboards here, and it just clamps around the drive shaft. But a lot of these early Buick cars that you can see here are all open valve trains. Everything's exposed to the elements.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, he was telling me you have to oil these up like.
Yeah, oil the heck out of them, right?
Now, and I see every one of them got something. His has something different. This, what do you put in here?
Just oil.
Just oil in
Yeah,
there?
yeah. There's a little oil can here you pull out, and
Oh, you still got the original oil can there.
Well, I don't know if it's original, but it's an oil can, and it works. It looks like it might be original. So you top that off, and then you put oil everywhere, because
put oil.
essentially there's on a modern vehicle it's all lubricated by
Yeah, you have to really work on the maintain these vehicles. You
Oh,
couldn't be
my
lazy. You couldn't be lazy.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. You are right.
That's nice. You got it painted, the engine painted. Look at that. And the more oil around the engine, the better. Like the
yeah.
newer cars, you don't want the oil, but this one.
Oh yeah, if
the
it's
more
not leaking, that's not a good thing.
You probably didn't put anything in it.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
So wow, like he was saying before, these.
Well, these are oil lamps, and these are carbide lamps. So on the early brass cars, if you go around to the other side here, the early brass cars have carbide generators.
Okay.
Carbide generators are water goes in the top, calcium carbide goes in the bottom. You regulate how much water drips on the calcium carbide. That produces a settling gas, and you can see the piping goes through for the headlamps. And it's actually quite a bright lubrication. It's really wonderful. I mean,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, it's really pretty. Flickers a little bit.
Now, you left yours original, or have you updated yours?
Mine are not updated.
Yours is not updated.
I mean, when this car was restored in 1950, they updated it in one respect. So rather than having a carbide generator, way underneath back here, there's a little acetylene tank, like a welder's tank.
Oh.
Because this is a dangerous, messy mess.
Wow.
You know, like making acetylene gas, which is essentially an explosive gas. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. But that's what they needed back then. The
They
engineers.
were just trying to sell cars. they didn't care. They were just trying to sell cars, just like today.
Yeah. Just make them go, huh?
Yep.
I like how they had the Buick on the center caps. Now, do you have to grease in there at all? Or?
Yeah, that's all it needs to be lubricated.
It needs to be greased.
Yeah, there's lubricating for your kingpins here. There's lubrication for the hubs. Yeah, you got to grease it everywhere.
And then they put pinstriping on everything on these.
Yeah, they're just trying to sell cars.
Yeah. But they made them classy, though.
Well,
you know,
for sure.
they made them classy back then.
They wanted to trick those farmers into buying cars.
So, this is your brake light here?
Well, it's a tail light. You know,
Tail
like
light?
it's not really a brake light because
light.
it's just always light. So there's a wick inside there, and then this is called a single rumble.
Oh, so you had
it's a rumble seat, and it's also the trunk.
Ah, look at that. Look at that. My man, that is nice. That is nice. And then these are grease fittings here too then.
Oh yeah, grease. Yeah, grease and oil.
Grease and oil. Wow. Yeah. So your horn, what's your horn? Is it working? Yeah. Hey, I remember the old movies, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and then this one has another accessory bell on it. So when I first started working on this car before I owned it, I was wondering why did they put something like that right in the floor? You trip over it.
Now, somebody added that, or was that factory?
Yeah, that's an accessory.
That's the accessory.
Plus, you can sell ice cream.
Well, that you can get the horses out of it.
All right. Yeah, this is nice, my man.
Oh yeah,
Really nice.
it's a great little car.
So I noticed even back here, they got handles for whoever's sitting back here.
Yeah, for when you get in, right, and then you sit down. Yeah, you can hold on because there's no shock absorbers.
No shock absorbers. Wow.
So it's about.
And how many horsepower was this one pushing?
You know, I think it's 20, 22 right in there.
Okay. All right. Now, how fast would this one go?
Oh, 40.
40 miles an hour?
Yeah, it's not safe at anything over 25.
Come on now, but you know back in the day, some of the guys, they had to push it and
Well, you know what? But back in the day, the roads were just dirt.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of cars around, and but I'm quite sure if a kid seen it coming down the road, they would run to the end of the driveway to take a look.
Powerful car,
Yeah, take a look.
Lightweight.
Take a
Low
look.
power, but really lightweight.
So now, do your crank still?
Yeah.
It'll start the car too?
Yeah, you have to start it with a crank.
No, okay.
That's the only way it'll start.
Oh, you ain't got you didn't upgrade nothing then, huh? Okay. Wow. Crank system still work.
Yeah.
Buick on the front?
Yeah, if it's here, you had to crank it to get it here.
Oh, okay.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
You have a good day.
Hold on, you walking away from the car.
I am. I'm done. Thank you.
All right, he just ran off on me. My man, that's nice. All right.